Hello and welcome to the Lost Art Podcast. I'm Gar and I'm here with Paul.
How are you doing?
And this week we are going to do... I was going to do what I do every week because I want to do something a little bit different. Shut up, Gar, you fucking
I also
sap.
found that I was introducing the same way.
You sap.
My tone was the same with every intro.
Yeah. But
There's a slight bit of nerves.
Do you reckon you'd be nervous, do you?
Oh, no, when I'm introducing them, yeah, because
Really?
I'm not good at that.
Boy, don't be nervous. You just delete it.
Not nervous. Just like, I mean, there's like a slight bit of apprehension or something.
All right.
So,
Like
yeah.
A smidge of anxiety.
Yeah, just, I don't know, red light syndrome.
Okay, all right.
The red light goes on.
I'm not too bad.
Welcome.
Yes, no.
Podcast with me, Gar, podcast.
Exactly.
Welcome. Oh.
Yay! Yeah, I'm with you. No, there's a little bit of that there, obviously. This week we're going to do non-singers who sang.
Non-singers who sang, yeah, people who had careers before now I'm sure some of them had singing careers before they went into acting, but
Loads of them.
These are ones that surprised everybody.
Yeah, so these are like people with musical output that you wouldn't expect, essentially.
Yes, exactly.
Let's go straight into it then. Who is your first one?
Eddie Murphy.
Fuck.
Eddie Murphy was more into music before he was a comedian.
Yeah, he done like a lot of club stuff where back in the day you would do comedy and you do songs. And
That's his love. Like his love was that. But obviously being an absolutely unbelievably good comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to move
And a fucking mentalist.
He's mad, but he's
mentalist.
a very interesting guy.
First transvestite I ever heard of.
I didn't know what. Yeah, I remember as a kid.
Remember?
I was like,
Eddie Murphy got caught with a transvestite. Man, what's a transvestite? Shut up, yo. That's the first transvestite I ever heard
not
of.
transsexual.
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think did they exist back then?
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
like in real life, but like
Absolutely.
in Cabra in the 80s.
Absolutely, did it.
Like, was it talked
in
about?
Cabra?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, it didn't happen in Cabra. But when
Eddie
people
Murphy
saying those,
picked up a Mott in Cabra.
no, I'm saying were people talking about transsexuals in Cabra in the 1980s? I doubt it. Everybody was just a fucking transvestite. That's what it was.
I understand what you mean.
That was the
In
blanket
Ireland,
statement.
Nobody knew. Sorry.
Yes.
Now I know what
The
you mean.
blanket statement was
In Ireland, yeah,
transvestite.
absolutely.
I don't know what it was that he was with.
One of
You
those-
might know. You were the one who picked him.
That's not what we're talking about anyway.
Fuck's sake.
1985, he releases a song. Party all the time. I
remember.
love this fucking
I remember
song. I absolutely love this song. I think it's really, really, really well written by Rick James. It is written by Rick James. And the kind of story about it is kind of slightly interesting, so we'll go into it. He always wanted to do music. He had a hard time convincing people that he was ever going to do music.
Yeah.
So he's hot off Beverly Hills. This was in 1985. He'd done Beverly Hills Cop in 1984, and he was just the household name.
Yeah.
And he'd also done, like, I think, Raw and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Didn't know what to run or whatever as well. Done a bunch of stuff.
No, but like the
Delirious and
comedy-
Raw and all that. Yeah.
See, what didn't work for him was the fact that A, he was a comedian, and B, he had already released a song called what's it called? Boogie in Your Butt.
Something like that, yeah.
Some silly, stupid,
Yeah.
and people are like, no, I'm not doing this.
He done an interview recently where he explained he was supposed to be on, what was the American version of Live Aid? Like We Are the World. What was that called?
We Are the World.
Was that the American one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Let
that was
them
the
know
name of
it's Christmas time. Is that the
No,
American one?
no.
I don't fucking
We are the world.
We are the people.
We are
yeah.
the children.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's
apparently...
Michael Jackson instead of Bono, basically.
Yes,
yeah.
So apparently he was in the same studio recording. It could have been this song or a song while this was being recorded as well. And he bumped into Stevie Wonder.
Really?
And Stevie Wonder was like, come on in, man, jump in on this. Like, we'd love to have you. And he was like, no, I'm doing my own song. So he missed out on being... he missed out. He was like...
That would have gotten the credit he needed.
Yeah, exactly. But he was like, that sounds like bullshit. And he didn't do it. He was like, no, I'm doing fucking Party All the Time instead. And went into the room and he says it himself, it's one of the biggest mistakes he ever made.
Yeah, and then another mistake he made regarding Stevie Wonder is he got a lot of backlash when he slagged Stevie Wonder on his stand-up. Like, apparently he got fucking
And
tore
Bill
apart.
Cosby, he got ate alive for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, now, in fairness, Stevie Wonder said he loved it. He thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Thought that was gas.
Yeah.
And still invited him on to do other stuff with him, you know what I mean, like after this. So...
this could be the second. This is actually Stevie Wonder. I think is going to pop up again. He is going to pop up
Is
again
he? Good.
in the most
Good man.
unlikely of people.
So Rick James took Eddie Murphy on and goes, right,
Another
we're gonna-
super freak.
Super freak.
A bit of dad joke. Have a dad joke.
A funny, interesting story about Party All the Time is it got a famous video where I've heard it being called a video where everybody is into the song in the video more than anyone was when it came out. Like, they're really, like, everyone in the studio, and he strolls in, because no, he's Eddie Murphy, strolls
Everybody's
in the
getting
studio.
paid mad money to be there.
Yeah, and it's one of those studio videos that were popular in the 80s where it shows it from the control room. Well, one of the funny story about that was there was a white guy that shows up at the control room at the very end. of the video. And I remember seeing him going, who's that lad? It was Les Garland, who owned MTV.
Yeah.
And the reason he's in the video was Rick James had called him out for being a racist.
Really?
For not putting... it might have been Super Freak. He was Super Freak. 1981, he refused to put Super Freak on the on MTV. He said it was a bit too risque for him. So they made up, and Garland turned up to the studio to get a bit of street cred back, and this was going to be on MTV anyway. So, yeah. What happened was he was only supposed to do one song with Rick James, and he flew into Buffalo, New York, and it was instantly a snowstorm where they got locked in for 2 weeks.
All right.
So apparently that's where Eddie Murphy learned a massive amount about production of music.
Yeah.
So then he went on to start.
He was trapped.
Yeah, basically trapped in that. And he did loads of stuff from them. Like most of the songs on the album, eventually Eddie Murphy admitted Rick James wrote that, and he wrote nearly everything else that they did on that.
But that, again, that's commonplace now, but back then it would have been frowned upon. Yeah.
And the banger Rick James off that song. And he didn't just produce it, he 100% wrote that.
He's in it.
Now, like, it's cool for Eddie Murphy to go, like, I know I wrote that. Yeah, I don't know. He probably wrote the lyrics because the lyrics are garbage.
Of course they are.
They're just about, like...
Partying all the time.
Partying all the time. But the lyrics are about, like, I've got loads of money, I can provide you with it, and you're still going out and riding other fellas. Okay, that's fantastic lyrics.
Super.
Yeah, brilliant. Weird song about this is it kind of opened the door to a lot of other singers to have a bit more balls to go out and, actors to go out and do a song.
Absolutely.
So after this, a year later, Don Johnson had a song, Heartbeat. Heartbeat nearly made it onto this playlist, but there was 2 songs called Heartbeat, and we'll get to the second Heartbeat song
Remember
later.
Don Johnson? Remember the fucking suits, the rolled up arms and all?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But that's
my old man still wears suits like that.
No way.
No mess. My photos of him wearing all the Don Johnson gear, like grey, like light-headed grey suits with like speckled with black.
But not with the sleeves. Really?
Oh, the whole shebang, lad. The whole shebang. All open. Not a blade of hair on my dad's chest. And it's all the way down to the belly button nearly. And he's not trying to be like ironic, but my outlet doesn't even know what irony is. He just thinks that this is what killed people war.
And they still do.
To this day.
And they still do.
My Elwyn has to dress him, so you're not wearing that fucking suit. You're not
no
wearing that
way.
suit. Still there, yeah?
You should let him out.
Yeah, no,
one night.
Can't. I'll borrow it.
On his birthday.
I'll do it. I'll wear it for my birthday.
Yeah, so a year later, Don Johnson had that Heartbeat song, which was a really good song. That got to like number 5. Then Bruce Willis went, fuck, I'm going to have a go with that. A year later, Bruce Willis released Respect Yourself, which...
you obviously didn't.
That's not a good song. Yeah, although we got that Under the Boardwalk. When you do that.
Yeah, of course, it's a fucking cover though. Yeah. And he had like a song called Harmonica Man or something as well, I think.
Yeah. So I think Eddie Murphy to this day has 4 or 5 albums. He released a song in 2013 called Red Light, Snoop Lion, a reggae song.
Remember
that song?
Just remember. Do you remember
Snoop Lion? I remember Snoop Lion, but do you remember that song with Eddie Murphy?
No, of course not.
It's another one they would just record in the studio because as much as Eddie Murphy is an actor and a comedian, I don't think he really wants to make videos where he has to act in the video because he knows that's a step too far.
Yeah.
That's one step too far. Eddie Murphy's also got songs he did on Shrek and another one of his films as well. So he has a bit of pedigree, does jump into the studio when he can because it's his first love.
Of course.
So Party All the Time. I love this song. It's a silly, stupid song from the 80s. It's clearly just someone showboating, of course, a little bit out of their comfort zone in terms of not their comfort zone, but what the public will allow.
Yeah,
and the public hated it.
Of course, they did. No one knew what to make of that.
It's just got a bit of Grand Theft Auto. Obviously, gave it a boost. Vice City, and then there's a football club in Scotland that have made it their official song, and they sing it. I think it's St. Johnstone have made Party All the Time. They sing it at the matches. That's another resurgence in it. But Party All the Time, man, that's my first one. It's an absolute banger. It's who's your first one?
My first one is Clint Eastwood.
He's on the Unforgiven soundtrack, is that right?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. So Clint Eastwood started off his life wanting to be a singer. He's a very, very accomplished pianist.
Is he?
Yeah, Shiha.
I would have said banjo for some reason.
No, pianist. Shiha. So he originally wanted to be a musician. He has a degree in music theory. Right, he had that before. Acting.
That's hard enough, to be honest with you. I did up to grade 2. Not fucking actual exams, but I studied myself to grade 2, and even by then I started.
I done grade 2
really
as well.
Hairy.
It was garbage. Yeah, I
really
didn't know what was
hairy.
going on. I passed it. I don't know how I passed it.
It's at that stage of grade 2 where it starts bringing in rules that you don't understand. Well, this is the way it is, except if this.
Yeah. It's
And you're
maths.
like,
Maths. Yeah. Sound maths.
It's like German grammar. That's fine, except if it's this. You're like, so they're learning another 10 rules.
No,
for
the
this.
dog is a man. What? Exactly, yeah.
The dog is a piece of furniture, but he's also a female synonym, pronoun, whatever.
If the sofa faces south, it's female. And exactly. So he has a degree in music theory. He wanted to play piano, and he has a massive, apparently like world-class collection of LPs. He's a mad audiophile.
Really?
Has this like super fucking like hi-fi system. And he mostly collects jazz and country and western. They're his two babies. I think jazz is his first love, but he loves the
I think if you have loads of records, you have to be into jazz, don't you?
Yes.
Weird. No, I'm not saying that. What I mean is, if you've let's say you picked a random person off the street and it turns out they had 45,000 records.
It's jazz.
They're into jazz.
Yeah, it's jazz.
100%.
100%, yeah.
I could have guessed the country, all right.
Yeah, the country and western he really liked, because that's kind of what he grew up. He wanted to play like honky tonk stuff, and there was another name for honky tonk.
Literally hate that sort of piano, but
yeah, exactly. But there's a slower version of it, Stonky Tomp. I don't know what it was called, but he wanted to play that.
Psycho Willie Stomp.
Yeah, exactly. His own first album came out in 1959, and it was called Cowboy Favorites. So that's him singing country and western stuff. So what he used to do, he first got famous from being on Rawhide. Okay, the TV show Rawhide, yeah, exactly. Which we got famous from the Blues Brothers to our generation. Yeah. But Rawhide was a big deal. I used to watch Rawhide on TV. It was old as fuck back then. Don't worry, I'm not that old. But it used to be on like a Sunday afternoon.
It was already old.
It was old as fuck. And so I used to watch Rawhide as well. Clint Eastwood became famous via Rawhide. But in between sessions, filming sessions on Rawhide, you had a little group. And what they would do is they'd go to rodeos and fun fairs and stuff like this and play gigs.
Well, on filming, like...
Yeah, we're on a break. We've got 2 days. We'll be recording this fucking, Indian fucking horse chase fucking scene. We don't need you for a couple of days. So he'd pack up. He had a little group of lads and they'd fuck off and they'd do county fairs, fun fairs, rodeos, this kind of stuff. And they would do Clint Eastwood fucking sings country and western songs. And apparently he was making more money doing those appearances than he was from Rawhide. He was making up to $15,000 a session. Doing the fun fairs and all. He was
country music is a good dollar in that.
Exactly. He was killing it. Now, he still kept on doing his music and all this kind of stuff. But when he started directing his own movies, he went to Warner, who puts out most of the movies that he directs and writes and stuff like that. And they gave him his own imprint record label. So
what is an imprint?
Imprint would be like a subsidiary. So
right, okay.
If you went to pick a record label, Geffen, right? So say you're in a decent band and you're like you're able to convince Geffen that you've got an ear. Yeah, I can find some cool bands. Give me fucking Helmet Records.
I don't have to come to you every fucking 2 minutes.
So they'll give you a budget and all the type of shit. And as long as you stay within your budget and you release records on time and don't act the bollocks, Geffen are more than happy for you to use their channels to put out records. So they gave him his own imprint on Warner. It's called Malpaso Records or something like that. Malpaso Records, something like that. And because of this, then he started
Records.
Exactly, Malpaso. Turnip Head, and he started composing again. So he ended up writing loads of theme songs for the movies he was in. So there's been movies that he's composed the entire score for as well.
Wow.
Like in their entirety.
Wow.
And because he has this imprint, then he gets to release the records to the highest quality audio.
So when he signs on, he goes, by the way, the soundtrack's coming through me.
Exactly.
No question about it.
He composed the score for Mystic River, $1 Million Baby, Flags of Our Fathers, and a bunch more.
I thought he just did a couple of tunes on that.
No, he has this thingy fucking run the cowboy fucking bullshit. Paint Your Wagon Red and all. He done loads of songs on those. But he's an actual composer. But in a couple of years ago, he was awarded an honorary doctorate of music from Berklee College, and he's 89 years of age.
Man.
So he started off with a degree in music theory and ended up with an honorary doctorate of music from Berklee, like the most prestigious music college in the world, probably.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. Absolutely is.
I tried to get into it years ago. My ma wouldn't let me. Loads of stories about me ma not letting me do things.
I did an online one of their free online courses where they try and, when you finish, they go, now why don't you sign up for a real online course?
I tried to go there in
15 grand.
2001, and then it was the fucking playing thing. The bad playing thing happened. And my ma was like, you're not going anywhere.